still chasing fire through the years half slow. Weights on my back, sweat in my eyes. Old man's fight never says die. Old man on the mat, still standing tall. One more round, yeah, I've heard it all. Grip the edge, don't let it slip. Strength in the soul, strength in the grip.
Hey, Old Man on the Mat crew, this is Tony Jones coming at you another great episode of Old Man on the Mat. Guys, I am fired up. And yes, I say this in the beginning all the time, and I say what I'm about to say all the time. I love being excited about life, man. Life is short. We have to live it to the fullest, especially for us old farts out there, man. You know, get out there and move, man. I'm fired up about life, but I'm excited about this guy that's on because this guy has a product. And, you know, a lot of times when I talk to guys, you know, there's some of them are selling this or some are selling that, and I understand that. But this guy has a product that I think every martial arts school out there needs. When I had my school 15 years ago or whatever it was, I could have used that too. You know, I said out there struggling and everything else, doing a lot of tea parties and trying to get all the parents come in with their badass kids. Excuse my French. But this guy has a product that I think everyone really needs to grow their business big time. Let me tell you a little about the guy. The guy, and which is cool about him, he's graduated, cum laude from, Bingham University. Oh, that's pretty cool. With the Bachelor's of Science in Supply Chain Management. He's a certified green belt in Lean Six Sigma. You'll get a kick out of what that is, and it blends right into what he does. And the guy has one of the, I think, you know, just from looking at some of the stuff, he has one of the fastest growing, one of the most helpful, one of the everything you can on the martial arts school growth system out there. He's an expert. He looks young, but I think he's like 70. I don't know. He'd be younger than that, but he knows what he's doing when it comes to growing your business out there. But I'm not going to toot his horn. I'm going to let him tell about himself a little bit, guys. But with that, I'm going to give you Mr. Michael Spyrou. Huh? Did I get it? Did I get the name right?
You crushed it. What an intro that was. I'm hyped up just listening to that. That was great.
Well, good, brother. It's all true, man. I don't lie about nothing except for my weight. But that's another story. But man, brother, tell me something, man. You're out there in Long Island, New York, man. You guys, like I was telling you before, you guys, I love your attitudes out there because I'm from Chicago and everyone says, you guys sound so rough and tough. And I'm like, no, meeting a New Yorker out there, man, you guys make me want to sit down and just shut up and I'm just going to be quiet for a while. Is that just a New York thing or were you born and raised with that drive?
So I was actually born in North Carolina. My mom was from New York, was down there, met my dad, had me and my brother. We moved back up when I was around 5. She was just homesick, so we had a ton of family and we came up. And, you know, I would definitely say it's the mentality of it here, you know, it's very fast-paced, crowded, competitive. So you got to go get what you want if you want to make your way in this world. And it's definitely, I would say I'm more laid back compared to most New Yorkers that you'll probably come across.
That's that Carolinas in you. You know, it's chilling you out a little bit, man.
Good
But
old boy
I
deep
love
down,
it,
right?
man.
Yeah.
That's right, man. I've never been to New York. I have friends who've been there tons of times. You got to go to New York. Never been there. But I've known people from there. I've met people and they all have that same, you know, you want these guys on your team if you're trying to go conquer something. You know what I mean? You want a New Yorker on your team, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's good
New
stuff,
York
man.
pride, for sure.
Hey, I get it, brother. I get it, man. But, you know, looking at some of your stuff, I mean, like, you know, how old are you?
I'm 28.
Man,
So
gosh,
young, a little
man.
young for Old Man on the Mat podcast.
Hey,
But
trust me, you can start at 5 at Old Man on the Mat.
all right,
That
good.
body moving, brother.
Good.
But, you know, tell me, I want to get people to know you. So how did you get started in the martial arts industry? How did you get started in martial arts? Were you like a badass kid? You're jumping off of stuff and your parents like, put them into something, you know?
Oh boy, I wish. No, I was always athletic growing up, but I played a lot of team sports. And when I was a senior in high school, so I was like 17 going on 18, my dad was a purple belt at the time. And he had always been trying to get me down to train, always. Like, come to open mat, just try it, just try it, just try it. So, one day I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll go and try it.
Yeah.
So
get off my back.
yeah, get off, right? So I go down to it's like a Sunday morning open mat. It's no-gi, so I don't see anybody's ranks. I just see a bunch of dudes in some shorts and t-shirts, right? And first round, I'm with my dad. He's like explaining some basic stuff to me and kind of let me do the whole white belt thing on him. So whatever. I didn't think much of it, but that round ends. And he points to this guy on the mat a little ways away. And he's like, you should go with that guy. He's pretty good. And I look over at the guy, and he's this old man on the mat. He's got a knee brace on. He's got a salt pepper goatee, no hair.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and I remember walking over to him and thinking like, I'm gonna fuck this dude up. Like I feel bad. Like I wish my dad could have given me someone tougher than this guy.
Yeah.
You know? And
Oh, yeah.
I get over to him and he's like super nice. He's like, "Oh, you're Alex's
Yeah.
kid. It's so nice to meet you." And now I'm like, well, maybe I'll take it easy because he's nice.
Oh,
And,
Lord.
and that timer started, and he must have submitted me like 15 times in like a 5-minute
Yeah.
round, and I had
Oh, yeah.
no clue what was going on, no clue. And I remember that round ended, and I'm just laying there like, what just happened?
What happened?
Yeah. And I mean, ever since then, I was like, well, I can't not come back, right? Because then it's like this.
Yeah.
I just got beat up by an
Yeah.
old guy. Like, there's obviously something to
That
it.
ego's in there. I
Yeah,
like
no,
it.
100%. But it was an amazing first experience. And after class, I was talking to my dad. I'm like, who is that guy? And he's like, oh, that's Omar. He's been training for like 15 years. He just got his black belt and whatnot. It's like, oh, okay, that all makes sense
Thanks,
now.
Dad.
Yeah, thanks. But it was such a awesome experience, and I love telling it because it cracks a lot of people up.
Oh, it does, man. Because a lot of young bucks come in on the mat, and I understand that too. You see an old grizzled guy in the corner, pain, everything hurt, and they're usually, we're the nicest guys on the mat, just smiling, good to
Oh
see
yeah,
you. And these young guys, man, you just like yourself, you see them come in there, and I see them like double blasting guys, and it's just like, all right, watch
yeah,
this guy get sent across the room, man. Oh
yeah.
man, you know. I tell you, when you were on the mat working with these guys, and you decided to come back, was it your goal to be a black belt, or was your goal just to say, you know what, I want to learn a little bit of this stuff because I shouldn't have some old fart tie me up like this?
It was more like that. I don't think I've ever approached jiu-jitsu like with a belt in mind.
Okay.
This was like around the
All right.
time when I also started really getting into like weightlifting.
Yeah.
And I knew that just like, I just need to keep showing up. And as long as I show up, like I'm gonna get better. And then you know how that becomes. It just becomes addicting. And then, the next thing you know,
Oh
you're
yeah.
like almost 10 and a half years in and you're like, where'd the time go? But
Where to go?
yeah, like,
Yeah, man.
but yeah, I never approached it like I need to be a black belt or I'm gonna be this or that. It was just like I need to learn what just happened because, in my head I was like almost I had visions of destroying this guy, and then it was like so
What happened?
yeah, so I was
Yeah.
like I need to figure out what's going on before I make any
Oh,
decisions.
yeah, right. You've already
Yeah,
decided if I'm in or out, man.
yeah, yeah.
Like I'll ask this question early in our interview here because normally I like to ask it toward the end, but I'll ask it now because you started out in no gi. What do you prefer, gi or no gi?
Honestly, I have a really like a blended schedule of both, and I really
Oh,
enjoy
okay.
both. I think
Yeah.
I'm maybe better no-gi, but I
Okay.
like the gi just as much. Like I think it's fun. I
Yeah.
like putting it on. It feels traditional, and it's fun
Yeah.
just to wear the
Yeah.
kimono and whatnot and play the part. So I
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Feel like you're back in the kung fu days and
Yeah,
everything. I know, man. I
exactly.
feel you, man. Yeah, I
Authentic.
love the gi because it's the old guy's best
Mm.
tech, best tool. We can just hold on to you when you're spinning around doing the bare bowlings and everything else. We just, all right, you done yet? And lay on you for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Drop the belly and just crush it.
That's right, man. Oh man. Now, are you teaching over there? Is that your dojo now? Is that your school now you have over there?
Also, Freedom Jiu-Jitsu is run by Steve Kalushin. He's the head instructor. I approached him back in, geez, how long now? Like 4 years ago, I think, 3 years ago, something like that. Just to help grow the gym. Before I got into what I do now, me and my brother actually had a rash guard apparel company. Um,
Oh, nice.
yeah, not anymore. But
Okay.
but through that, I learned a lot about digital marketing, how to
Okay.
run, campaign ads and whatnot. So I approached him and was like, "Hey, I think I could do this and get leads. Are you open to it?" And it's been the story since then. It was
Yeah.
successful. I built a whole system around it and whatnot.
Wow.
Yeah, but so it's him, and I'm not going to say I'm his number two, but I'm like his number two there.
Yeah.
So I do coaching. I teach the beginner classes. I really enjoy doing that. It's always
Yeah.
fun just to see someone new come in. It's like I give a lot of credit to those new guys. You know, I had my dad to bring
Yeah.
me in, so I kind of had like
Yeah.
that icebreaker foot in the door. But someone
Yeah.
like that has never done a sport like this and is coming in cold, it's like it takes a lot to get there. So I like to make it comfortable for them and like,
Yeah.
teach them some basic stuff and, let them kind of discover what jiu-jitsu can do on its own.
Yeah. And that's smart though, because especially now, jiu-jitsu has grown so much over the years, it just exploded that you're getting everybody walking on the mat. And I tell stories, I've gone into places when I was seeking out Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It was someplace just full of dicks, excuse my French, and I
No,
don't
yeah.
even know French, but they were dicks, and but there's a lot of schools out there just so welcoming, and I think that's what, in my opinion, is just helps schools grow. Now
Absolutely.
when you're coming from your school from Freedom, what did you see that was missing there that made you say, you know what, I need to help him out. I need to, help this gym grow.
So, like, it was just really a love for my school. It's given me
Okay.
so much in life, and it was like, hey, I think I could help. I want to be a part of it. And then through doing that, like I said, I started with the ads, but that really exposed what we were truly lacking was that underlying system. Because when I was
Okay.
running these ads to generate leads, it was a very successful, first campaign. We had like, I think within 2 weeks, we had something like 30 leads.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was great. But
Yeah.
I learned very quickly that just because you get a lead doesn't mean it's a student. So,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
I like, I was managing all these leads through a spreadsheet in my personal cell phone, like trying to text and call them and keep track of
Yeah.
it. And it was a total mess. So that's when
Yeah.
I like was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And I went out and created that way, and it's been really successful. And that we had a ton of success with that, and that led to some referrals, and then those led to some referrals, and then it was like next thing I
Okay.
knew, I had a business doing it.
Okay, nice. So you put a system together just like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu system, because everything
Correct.
has a good school has a good system for growth. Now,
Yes.
what was this?
Yes.
Yeah, what were some of the things that you implemented there that other than the lead system and the how to nurture a lead, I guess we call it.
Mm.
What else did you put in place there to help the school grow?
The biggest thing, and like I think what really made the whole system work so well, is the combination of automation and AI.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
talk, there's really two parts to like the whole system. It's your internal and external. So the external is all the marketing, but that's all going to be enough for nothing if you can't actually capitalize and make a return on that investment.
Right. Right.
And in today's world, everything happens so fast that if you're
Mhm.
waiting to you get a new lead in and you're not around to text them or give them a call right away, like
Yeah.
the chances of them converting, drop significantly.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't even converting like sign up. I just mean the chances of them responding to your message or
Hmm.
booking a class, and moving through your pipeline and funnel
Right.
drop significantly. So really I discovered was when I combined it with automation and AI, and I can really automate that top like 80% of the funnel to get them onto the mats is when
Okay.
we really started to grow because
Yeah.
the AI I created will communicate with the lead, it will interact with them, answer questions.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's gonna push them to like book a trial class. Like, hey, you said you like evening classes. Here are our times. Do you want the schedule or do you want the calendar to book? And so it's doing it all for me, and it's doing it
Yeah.
in real time, and it really removes the friction that a lead experiences. And the next
Yeah.
thing you know, they're booked, they're getting reminders, and then they're on the mat. And then once they're on the mat,
Wow.
yeah, once they're on the mat, like it's it's really a high conversion rate from there, because like I said, normally they're booking for the beginner times and I'm there. And, I like to give a good beginner experience and,
Yeah.
start them off with some easy technique, some situational rounds just to kind of get a feel for it all. And usually by the end of
Yeah.
the class, they've talked themselves into it and, we sign them up.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Because I always thought that was something that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was missing, or a lot of schools missing, a lot of styles. They've taken, if I'm not mistaken, I looked at Taekwondo. And I know Taekwondo gets a crap, they're just throwing out belts every other day. They get a crap reputation about it and stuff. I still know a couple guys from back in the day in the 80s that could use Taekwondo like it was meant to be, like a true karate style. And these guys were badasses, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But Taekwondo over the years has gone to a belt system, a belt meal in essence. And I'm not knocking them. I know everybody's got to make money. I think, hey, do what you got to do. If you're giving your clients a good product, make all the money you want, right? So do you think you've used some of that mindset of how they did their system and brought it over to jiu-jitsu, or is it just a whole something totally different?
I mean, I wasn't not aware of that Taekwondo system, so I wouldn't
Okay.
say it necessarily inspired my system, but
Gotcha.
there's definitely some overlap. In your
Okay.
fantastic intro, you gave me the Lean Six Sigma.
Yeah.
So just to kind of explain to people what that is, it's like when I was in school going for supply chain, it was a sort of production philosophy that you can get certified in. And it originated with Toyota, like the car brand. They kind of pioneered this philosophy, and that's why you have Toyotas are super reliable. They don't break down.
Very
They're
much so.
great cars. And really, it's
Yeah.
lean, which means getting rid of waste. And then Six Sigma is going, if you look at like a bell curve, you're going 6 standard deviations out for like failure, meaning like you're testing the parts to that 99, 0.999 percentile. So that's why Toyotas don't break
Wow.
down, and that's why they last forever. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of how I incorporated it into my system. Not so much the that kind of production aspect, but the reducing waste, and
Okay.
that's what the automation and the AI helps with because, a lot of schools out there, they're one man, two man shows. They might
Absolutely.
they
Yeah.
might have a great community. They have a great, I hate kind of reducing jiu-jitsu to like a business term, but they have a great product.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
but yeah, and it's just a shame that, you know, maybe they aren't business guys or maybe it's not their main thing yet and they just don't have the time to give it to get
Yeah.
their school going. And that's what the system
Yeah.
really helps with is it takes away all that work from them and does it for them faster than they ever would. And that's where you get to
Yeah.
see the real results coming in.
And that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And we're seeing a lot of schools that do need that growth. And I've talked to schools before, and what's your next step? Because what I do is I travel around. I'm a traveler now. I'm semi-retired, so I get to travel and do some fun stuff in life. And so I'm always going to different schools and talking to the owners. And you can tell I talk all the time. So I'll I'll
Got a
talk
great
to
voice for
everybody.
it. Great voice for it.
Oh,
So
thanks, brother. Thanks. And then, I talk to some of these schools, and they're smaller schools, and I'll be like, "Oh man, you guys, I didn't find you guys on this. I don't know, you got ads or whatever." I'm asking these guys. A lot of these guys are like, I don't want to water down my system, and I don't want it to lose what I've given it. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't know you, so I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm here to join on the mat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So do you run into that a lot?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if it's like an old school mentality, but I think it's people's baby, it's their school, right?
Yeah,
And for
yeah.
some reason, maybe just through, I'm sure you get the ads too from all the marketing gurus and the gym
Oh,
guru. You know what I mean? It's like I
yeah,
think it gives it all a bad rep. So in their mind, they equate like if I want to, market or grow my business, it's like I'm selling out in a way, and it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
re-
I
it's
get that. Yeah,
really a shame because like you have to like adapt with the times and get these
yeah.
business
You have to.
tools
Yeah,
and it's the
yeah,
only way you're really going to get students in. And then once you get them in, that's when they're going to experience the what you have. Like that's your
yeah,
culture. That's the selling point. To get them there, don't be afraid to use tools. And then it's not like when they get there, they're going to learn jujitsu from an AI screen or something. It's like
right, right.
it's like they're there for you now, and they like what you have to
Yeah,
offer. So don't be afraid to use a tool or to try
yeah,
running a special ad campaign just to get people in and experiencing it.
yeah. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. 'Cause I tell you, change is hard for everybody. You
Mm,
know what I mean? And in school, coming from a school owner, you take a lot of time, you put your heart energy in it. You think if I let someone else in, it's going to lose this.
mm.
You know, how do you get those old school guys who are just, let's say, old fart like me, standing there like, no, this is my baby. Yeah, my 3 students. These are I've trained these guys here. I don't. I don't want them to lose it. How do you get them to branch outside that and say, you know what, you just got to trust me. Look with all these other schools I've helped, but how do you get that guy off the fence to just say, come on, man, let's get you let your business grow?
Like I just try to be as transparent as possible with them. I share what I just share with you. It's like, look, it's not
Yeah.
taking away from what you're actually doing. It's funny. I remember, one of my prospects that I was talking to a few years ago, he was like, ex-military, real legit badass. I don't know if I want to say, I don't want to like curse too much, but he was like,
Yeah.
when I
Say
was,
whatever you got to say,
okay,
man.
okay.
Be you,
I
brother.
was like, I was talking to him and he's like, yeah, like my school's not for pussies. Like, I don't want to like, I want real killers in here. I'm like, look, that's like great. Like, I'm with
Yeah.
you, like,
Yeah.
but like, if you advertise that, you're not going to get anybody interested.
Exactly.
Like, I always try to say it like, let them come and discover that, like, oh, this gym is for killers. Like, I'm surrounded by
Yeah.
killers. I want to become
Yeah.
this. And like, this is
Yeah.
what I want to like, mimic or create in myself versus like, seeing an ad is this gym is only for killers, not for pussies. And you look at your phone, you're like, okay, well, I guess, I'm not even sure if I want to do this, but yeah, no, I'm definitely not.
Right?
And I had another client. They're like a very competition oriented school.
Yeah.
He's like, I want
Seen
ads.
those, yeah.
I want the ads only to be for people that want to compete. I'm like, well, look, like I don't know anybody that if maybe they had wrestling experience, they would be open to competing, right? But if they have no kind of grappling
Yeah,
experience,
I'm not thinking
like
about
who
that.
is like gonna sign up with the intention of like I'm gonna go out there and compete? Like it's already hard enough to come down and get on the mat. Like
Yeah.
now you're gonna ask so
Get off
much.
the couch first.
Yeah, and so I just try to like frame it like that and be like, look, like let
Yeah.
people come experience what you have to offer, and if you
Yeah.
have to get a little bit more, generic on the ads, it's not really hurting you. It's just it's
No.
exposing people to you, really.
Yeah. Yeah. You just let that culture come. You build that
Yeah.
culture anyway. I apologize about my lighting because we're about to get a thunderstorm out here. So I got all the lighting in the house
Okay.
on.
No worries.
Yeah,
Looks
so
good still.
I'm like, man, I'm getting darker. Hey, man, look outside the window. But yeah, you're right. And some of these schools, like I said, I travel around, I see these places, and I've been into all of them. The sports gym, hey, let's just have a fun time gym. I'm at my age of what I'm looking for. If I see a gym and I see the advertiser, they have women in the gym. I'm like, okay, I get that. It's the culture's good. It's not just a meathead testosterone gym. So I have a tendency to go into those, but I'll go to any of them and just train.
Sure.
But I walked in the gym. When you walk in, you can smell the blood on the mat,
Oh
man.
yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
like I walked through the door now. I can't just say, oh, I left something in the car.
Yeah, right. Forgot my wallet. They gotta
Yeah,
go.
exactly, man. But you hit it right on the head, though. You're right. You're right. If you see an ad that just says, "I just want a killers in here," no one's coming for that.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Now, have you taken schools, and I know you've done quite a few schools out there, man, to create this kind of business. Have you taken a school I'm not going to say zero, but from that garage door to blown up?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll talk about Freedom Jiu-Jitsu and one of my clients down in Florida. So when I came on, we had 110, 120,
Mhm.
and I think our all-time high was like 260, and we kind of fluctuate in between, somewhere between like 215, 230.
Wow.
It's really just
Okay.
limited because of the actual physical space of the
The
gym.
space you have. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just because like it comes to a point where it's like, I mean, personally, I think it's like if you only get as big as like where you're at, like just
Yeah.
like
Yep.
like we moved to a new gym, and like that really opened up a lot of doors for us. We grew into
Yeah.
it really fast, but now it's like you can't outgrow that container.
That space. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that was like that's the only bottleneck I think that's for us. And then now one of my clients down in Florida, they're a PSF affiliate, PSF Ocala. I worked with Jeremy Bird, the owner, when they had like again, I think like 60 students, and
Yeah.
this is a few years ago now, so this has been over the course of like 3-year relationship, but they're at like 280, 290. They have 2 locations
Oh,
now.
cow.
Yeah, they're
That's a
really
massive growth.
yeah, they're doing really, really great. And that's the
Wow.
competition focused gym. The one who was like, I only want competitions. I'm like, listen,
I want to
like,
kill everybody.
yeah, like you'll get there. Like I ain't with you, but like,
You still need moms and dads in
yeah,
here to work with these
like,
kids, dude.
still got the hobbyists. They're the ones that can actually afford it. None of these
Those are the
competitors.
ones. I love
Yeah,
that. That's exactly
yeah,
right. Those are the ones who's going to pay the bills. They're going to do
yeah.
all the things, because most of those killers out there, they don't have regular
No,
jobs.
and the best part is like I, they might discover that they want to compete, being in that
Yeah,
atmosphere. Like
yeah,
competing wasn't something I ever wanted to do in jiu-jitsu, just because I had like spent my whole life playing sports and was like, I don't want this to
yeah.
become that. But over the years, I discovered that like, oh, this is a really great way to push myself and just to ultimately like get better. Like you get better a lot faster when you do a competition. And
Oh, yeah.
but like I said, like you discover that. Like you can't, like if you asked me at 17, Mike, you want to do jiu-jitsu and compete? I'd be like, fuck no. I'm not going out
Yeah,
there.
I'm
Like,
not touching that.
I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. I'm like, you know.
I'm with you, man. Because that's the same thing at my age. I walked into a place looking for because I like even when I had my own school before I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I was a black belt in Kodokan Jiu-Jitsu, which is a Japanese version.
Mm,
We do a lot of stand-up things as opposed to ground also. But I go in a place because I'm like always looking to learn. So I was like, I want to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And they were, man, you walk, like I said, the gym was smelling all like nothing but old locker rooms from back in the college and stuff. And I'm
oh,
like,
yeah.
all right, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm go, I'll go in there have fun anyway. And it turned to be great, man. So yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It's just so much out there, brother. Now, what's your first step when you take a gym? Let's say if you got a brand new gym, which you have a lot of them, what's the first step? Do you analyze the business first? You give them the trust. I know you got to get them to trust you to do that, but do you just analyze? Let me see your numbers. Let me see what you're trying to accomplish first. What do you do first for these guys?
So typically there's like a discovery call, and that's when like I'll analyze their business or just kind of find out like,
Okay.
hey, like, because sometimes like, I want to help as much people as I can, but only if it's a right fit for them. Some gyms, it's like
Makes sense.
they're, like it's unfortunate. I had a client had to drop off, not because it was anything wrong, I think, with my system, but I think there was like a culture issue there where they just weren't getting students. They weren't keeping them. And it's like, you know, no amount of systems or ads is gonna fix that,
That's a
So
them problem. That's a
yeah,
them
so
problem.
and
Yeah.
that's what I kind of want to understand on that discovery call is like where are you at? Like where are you struggling? Like, you know, oftentimes what I think, comes up most is people say like I need more leads, I need people in the door.
Yeah.
But when I start to
Yeah.
ask like, well, what happens when a lead signs your web form? They fill out like the trial submission, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. Then it's like, okay, well, the issue is
Oh,
your
yeah.
system, right? And that's really what I want to help illuminate for them is like, you can spend all the money you want on leads and ads, but like if you can't convert them, you're just wasting all that. It's not going to
Throwing money out the
magically,
door,
yeah,
man.
it's not going to magically make you more
Yeah.
students. So really it's getting them on that system, getting them
Huh.
using it and
Excuse me.
understanding it, because even with the automation and AI, there's still some like
Yeah.
manual work, but I
Yeah.
set it up that way because I don't want automation or AI signing the students up. I want it getting them booked and getting them on the mat to like participate. But after that, it's
Yeah.
like now it's on you.
No, yeah.
So it's really just kind of discovering where they're at in their business journey, and then seeing if I can help them with my system. I do like
Yeah.
website and marketing and all that stuff as well. So sometimes there's opportunity for that. But I'd say like 9 times out of 10, it's like we want leads, but we don't actually have a system to get them on the mat. And it's like, okay, well
Yeah.
that's what you're missing.
Yeah. Man, I get it because most martial arts guys, they're martial arts guys. They're not
Right.
looking, they don't know all that stuff and how to get leads in. And here's my ad. Here's my I have a gym that I love training at out in Illinois,
Mm.
Lake County Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they would go to the I don't know if that's good or not. I don't know about marketing and business, but I'm just saying they go to to these parks and put up their table and come on over and here's a sign,
Yeah, it's
all that stuff.
great.
Yeah, if it worked, it worked.
It
You know what
works
I
right.
mean? And
Yeah,
they
like don't need to reinvent the
yeah,
wheel, like
exactly, man. Exactly. And it's a cool system. I think that most gyms need that system. Now, how do you overcome radius, of gyms. Because a lot of times now, with as big as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu got, and I mentioned earlier with Taekwondo, you see a Taekwondo on every corner.
Mhm.
Now you see Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu almost on every corner. Because like I said, I travel everywhere. So when I'm going around, I literally do, because it's just who I am. I'm always looking for a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, like count them, like, okay, there's one. All right,
Yeah,
good. There's two.
yeah.
There's three. How do you get over that for one school when they're competing with another school? Is it just marketing again?
So, personally, I do believe like there's enough for everybody,
Yeah.
and it's just like marketing, right, to help people come in the door and then decide, is this culture right for me? Does this place, does the
Gotcha.
values like resonate with me? And however you do that, like I said, I specifically do like paid advertising and like search engine optimization, but your school in Illinois, if they have success tabling, like, you know, you don't need to run ads. Like you're not wasting money and
Yeah.
you're having, and there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a ton of community Facebook groups of parents that you could just reach out to and offer,
Yeah.
a trial experience, a self-defense seminar, like, and just
Yeah.
get people down and experiencing it. And one of my favorite things to do is if you've been in business for any amount of time, you probably already have like a list of leads lying around somewhere that either,
Oh, yeah.
came in or didn't sign up or whatever. So my favorite
Yeah.
thing to do is just to like go back into those and just reach out with them. So I like to offer like
Yeah.
a special like maybe deal for them just to like kind of get them in and experiencing it again. But
Yeah.
a lot of businesses already have like a stack laying around somewhere. So it's like just go
That's true.
work those again, and just run through that like once every 6 months or so and just see what happens.
Yeah. That's smart business, man. I used to have a insurance agency for 10 years, 12 years, I'm sorry.
Mm,
And every year or so, I would just go through the whole. I never threw out a lead, never threw out someone said no. I'd always go back, and
yeah.
you get 10% of those. You
Yeah.
get 1,000 of them. You get some of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
And like
worked, man.
10% for a school, that might be 5, 6 students. That's a big
That's
deal. That's a
huge.
big deal.
Yeah, big time,
For
man,
free.
big time.
For free. You didn't spend any money. Like
That's free business right
yeah.
there. You're gonna spend
Yeah.
nothing but time opening that box again. And I had a lady, I would sit there and say, "All right, Mary, can you go through some of these? Just send them a quick email, pick up the phone, call them." And she loved that because she get to work
Yeah.
overtime and get paid just to do that. And she's like me, she loved to talk anyway. So she'd be
It's great.
2 calls in and she's up, "Girl, let me tell you about my life." And like, all right, get them in here. But that's good
Yeah.
stuff, man. Do you also help the guys with their curriculum? And that's a big thing. 'Cause I've seen some schools out there that they're having a problem with their curriculum. You bring a guy in, here's a white belt. Okay, there you go. Go to the wolves. Let's all learn you.
So that's not really something I touch on because I feel like
Okay.
I don't want to overstep my boundary and really
I
like
get it.
start
I get
making
it.
changes,
Yeah.
but if they come to me and they're like, hey, people are coming in, but I'm not signing them up, then I kind of like, you know, I have my own kind of personal philosophy of how I run my beginner class and how I talk to people, but
Yeah.
I don't really look at it as like a standard for everybody else. Everybody else does it differently, and I think
Gotcha.
that's great. But
Yeah.
when people come to me with that issue, I like, I will share kind of what I do, and what I try to do is I try to leave the trial guy feeling like they learned something. I think that's really
Okay.
valuable, especially because like back in the day, I think you just kind of got thrown to the fire and like you just got
Yeah.
beat up for a class and it's like,
That was your
did
first
I
class.
like that?
See you
Like,
next week.
am I sick enough to like that? So it's like,
I know.
yeah. But for me now, it's like I always have them start with something super easy, like a closed guard
Yeah.
armbar, right? It looks kind of
Yeah.
cool, it looks complicated, but it's easy to hit, and then they
Yeah.
get it, and it's like, it's something they can remember. Um, and then really just putting them in that, positional training rounds, keep it short, but now it's like, okay, you just
Yeah.
practice this, let's see if you can do it live. And then, now they're grappling and it's like, wow, this is a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Like we're just playing this little game and it's like really engaging and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But that's
Yeah.
what I find is people either don't have a beginner class and they just funnel guys to the frying pan or,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the worst thing
Yeah.
for them.
That is the worst, man. That's the worst. And I tell you, coming off the street to something new and you just be throwing a bunch of sweaty people beating you up sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks royally. I don't care
Yeah.
how whatever it is. And I think you're 100% right. Gyms need to have that beginner class.
Mm,
Beginner class, just hey, meet this guy, meet that guy. Hey, and you hopefully it's a very
yes.
welcoming beginner class.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of old farts in there,
No,
man.
I love the beginner class because like it's just fun. You meet a lot of different people, and like you said,
Yeah,
like you just get people talking. Like, hey, Tali, this is Nick. You just trained start today. Like, and then you just kind of like make the introduction for people and let it
yep,
do its thing.
yeah. And I see that nowadays, especially man, when you find a good school to go to or a comfortable, I'm not talking about skill set, I'm talking about comfortable place you want to be. It brings more people. It really is. 'Cause I think a lot of people out there now are trying to find more friends or trying to be involved in something that's more communal. I don't want to get
Yes.
into kumbaya and holding hands and singing, but none of that. But
No, no, I'm in complete agreement. Like the my favorite thing about freedom jiu-jitsu is the community like it has. And like I've made so many friends, young and old, of all ranges, just and I think
yeah,
it is something that's missing a lot from people's lives today. Like just going to the gym and lifting weights, it's not doing it anymore. Everybody's got noise
no,
canceling headphones in. So you're not even talking to
everything.
anybody.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
it's still a
yeah.
very lonely experience when and then
It
there's
is,
just
man.
there's so much happening at a school. It's the best part for anybody's life, I think.
It is, man, and you're right. I tell you, before I started my traveling journey, it was almost 2 years ago. I just started hitting the road. It was the hardest part of leaving and doing that was my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school. That I
Mm,
love these guys.
yeah,
I was there 3, 4 times a week. We had a great community inside. Sometimes me and a couple guys would hit cigars and bourbons
yeah,
outside. We
it's
became a
awesome.
close friends.
Yeah,
And to leave that, man, it was hard, man. But I was like, you know what? I got to get on my way. I got to do some dreaming that hit some goals that I wanted to do. And I'm still in contact with all those guys now. We're
mhm,
still friends. We still shoot the shit all the time on the
yeah,
phone. They still call me a weakling, and they still tell me I suck at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I do.
yeah.
But
So
you're
do
right,
all.
man.
We all do, right? So
That's right. We all suck
yeah,
at it. But you hit it round the head. It's a great community, and I think if you have a good system and you can bring that many people in to just to help them out in the daytime, help them get that stress out of their lives,
yeah.
man. I tell you.
It makes a
Brother,
difference,
it's amazing.
and
It
like
really does.
I don't think owners know this enough, but like you're making like such a
Yeah.
big difference in people's
Yeah.
lives. Like just even if you just
Yeah.
listen to like them ramble, and sometimes you're just like, yeah, okay,
Exactly.
whatever. But like just even that, like people
Yeah.
don't get that a lot, and it's
Yeah.
something I'm really
They
thankful
wanna
to
be heard.
have. Yeah, they do. They just want someone to talk to, and that's what the
Yeah,
best
man.
part about it is.
It is, man. It really is. And like you said, the school owners, they don't know what they have in their hands because why? They don't have a system. And I'm doing the cheesy plug back to you, but
Yeah,
it's a
I
real
appreciate it.
thing.
I appreciate
But it's a
it.
real thing. They don't have a system to take their mind off of, I got to do these. I got to do all this stuff. Oh, yeah. Hi, Bob. I don't have time to
Yeah,
get into Bob's life because I'm doing all this crazy stuff. If
right.
they get a system to put it all in place and sit it aside, now they can focus on the students, the relationship. You get to know who your students are. You can
Hmm.
know that guy who's going through a divorce. You can get to know that lady who's, having trouble. You get to know these people
Yes.
over just a number,
Yeah, and
And I think the
it's
system would do that.
yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's just relationships, and
Yeah.
I remember when I first set it up and it worked. It was like, I didn't have to do it, so that was great. But then it's like
Yeah.
now I get to teach class, and like my phone buzzes, and it lets me know like, hey, new lead for next week at So I was like, all right, like now we can start
That's cool.
scaling and getting more people in and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, listening to you because I've talked to gurus over the time, and not for my school. I mean, back then it was way back when I think the gurus were starting out,
Hmm.
and it was, man, it was so much money to get started. I was like, I ain't got time to do this thing. I'm going to focus on that. Now, how do you? I don't know if this is a curveball question or something like, but
We'll see.
how? That's right. What makes you better than these other schools, these other not schools, other systems out there? Because, like you said earlier, there's tons of systems out there. What makes you better?
Wow. I guess I gotta like get a little ego boosting going.
Hey, come on, man, do yourself.
Like I think one, like what really sets me apart is that when you work with me, you get to work with me. It's just me. So if you ever have a problem or a concern, you text or call me, and like I'm gonna
That's cool.
be on the other end of that. So I like,
Yeah.
and like again, we were talking about relationships. Like I like having a relationship with my client. I like being a part of
That's
their
cool.
team. It's like, I'll be your marketing guy. Again, like it's like you don't even have to worry about it now. Like I'll worry about it. If
Yeah.
I got a problem, I'll
Yeah.
call, like,
That's
but
cool, man.
so I think that's one of my biggest strengths is that you just work with me. I always am as transparent as possible. Like, some of
That's
my
cool.
clients, like when I run ad campaigns, if they suck, I tell them, I'm like, hey, this one really sucks. Like, I'm gonna look into it
Yeah.
and see what's going on. I think
Yeah.
with these bigger agencies, some schools they just kind of get like pushed around by them just because one, it's more of like a lack of, they don't know what
Yeah.
a meta business ads manager looks like or the metrics. So they're
Yeah.
not asking those questions. They're just like, oh, okay, I guess I only got this much this month, and I just got to shell
Yeah.
out another $700 to whatever, you know what I
Yep.
mean? Plus the asking.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
always try to like, show them like, hey, these are the results you're getting. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, like they don't even look at them. They're just like, okay, cool.
They
So
see what's coming in.
yeah,
That's all. They see what's
yeah.
coming in the
You
door.
know,
That's good. That's good.
yeah, that's fine. But then there's the few like, business savvy clients I have that give me a call every month and they're like, hey, let's go over the
Yeah.
report. And I'm like, sure, like let me know
That's
and
cool.
I love that, and
Yeah.
that's my favorite part.
That's cool. And I think you're right, being that one guy and not saying you're a one man show over there,
Mm,
but you're the contact with these guys. Cause I know a lot of these big gurus out there, they sell you in the big thing, then here, Bob will take care of you
yeah,
or Tom will
it's
take care of you. You never talk to that guy again. You're
never.
just like, man, you can never reach him. But if you want to work out with me, it's going to be an extra
Yeah,
money for me to work with you. I
yeah.
think that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
That's
it's like you're
insane.
already paying this fee, and now it's like I gotta pay more
Yeah.
to do the same thing, but
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's nuts. But yeah, I think that's what kind of
Yeah.
sets me apart is that you get to be with me and hang out. And
That's cool, man.
I'm being
Get
honest.
little old me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all right.
But that is cool though, man. Because a lot of these places, and hey, I don't know all these guys personally, but I've run through some of these guru systems, and and nothing's wrong. I want everybody. Trust me, I want everybody to make as much money as they can.
Yeah,
Make it all. I don't care. There's enough money for everybody. But don't nickel and dime me to death. You
yeah,
know what I
no,
mean? Don't be that one that I'm just the numbers for you. So you just sucking in the money. You want to get 100 schools. So if 50 leave, you're still making all the money on the 50.
yeah, yeah,
I want everybody to make money. You know what I mean? So if you have that kind of relationship with these guys, they'll stick with you. If you're
yeah,
giving them a good product,
yeah. And like I said,
you
I
know?
think just the product is great, and then the relationship we create together is like what makes it last. One of my guys all the way out in California, I've never met him, but we're like now like following each other on our personal accounts. And I remember
That's
like, yeah,
cool.
yeah, and like I posted a story like last summer. I learned to surf last summer here, and
Yeah.
someone had a picture of me surfing, so I put it on my story, and he called me. He's like, "Yo, I saw your surf picture. Like, you surf?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, it turns out he's been surfing his whole life, and he's like this like kind of a
Oh
legendary
man,
surfer. He's like, "If you're ever out here in Cali, like, let me know. We'll go." Like, he's got a family. He's like, "Well, I take it.
that's
We'll go with the
cool,
family." Yeah, it's just like really, it was really awesome. And I was like, "Yeah, it sounds great."
man.
Like I'll have to make a
That's
trip out there.
I love it, man. But
Yeah.
that's you. That's you. You bring you to it.
Right.
Like you said
Right.
earlier, you just got me, but you're just, you're
Yeah.
that guy that everyone wants to know, man. I love
Yeah.
See, I'm getting giddy for you, man. I'm getting excited for you,
I
man.
love
That's
it. I
good
love it.
stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
But I love when guys like yourself who has a great product. We talked about that earlier, having a good product. And you're a great guy with it. You're just not trying
Thank
to
you.
sell them. Well, you're a businessman. Don't get me wrong. I know you're trying to make money. You're not just out there holding hands, kumbaya. You're trying to make money,
Yeah. This
and
ain't for
that's
free.
good.
This ain't for, no, I'm just kidding. Just
That's right. That's
kidding.
right. But you're making money, and these guys, you're helping these guys do it.
Yeah.
Because if you're making money, they better be making
Mm,
money. That's how I look
I
at it.
hope.
Man,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, man. Now let's go to the dark side.
Oh, okay.
Have you now have you ever looked at a school? Because I see some of these things, and once again, I'm just going by what I've seen. Guarantee we can make everybody millionaires. We can make everybody's things. Have you run into schools? You just after you looking at their system, you're like, looking at what they want you to do. Say, you know what? I'm not the guy. I can't help you.
Um, I never I've never truly met a school where I didn't think I could help them.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
there were some where, you know, in order for me to help you, I need a working relationship, and like,
Okay.
so there
Gotcha.
was, one school, they signed up and, they didn't have a really great website. So I was like, look, I could do that, set you up with the system and the website. So I go through all that work and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
like I need like access to your domain to link it and put it together. And it was like this whole thing where like, I don't know, they couldn't get access from it from whatever. Like there was just a ton of friction. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
I would reach out like once a week and be like, hey, like any progress? And like they either like wouldn't answer me or they'd get back to me. Like,
Jeez.
so it's like,
Yeah.
and then like, they're paying for it. And then like I get busy with other stuff and it's like I can't hold your hand. Like if and then like, 3 months later they cancel and it's like, I know I didn't do anything wrong, but it's like a bummer because it's
No.
like, man, like,
Yeah.
you're canceling because like let
You
me
wouldn't give me
down.
what I
You know what I
needed.
mean? Like
Yeah.
we never even got
Yeah.
the website live. So like how could it
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. Oh, I get it, man.
yeah,
I get it, man.
yeah. But that's
But
something I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go.
no. Go ahead, brother. Because I tell you, I'll talk all day long. I want to hear
Okay,
people know
okay.
about you, man.
You said something in your question you talked about like do you guarantee this or whatnot.
Yeah.
I hate making guarantees just because I don't think anything's a guarantee. Like
That's right.
I know what I'm doing, but like a lot of people have questions about ads, right? Because that's kind of like the hot
Yeah.
topic is like I need more leads,
Yeah.
let's run some ads. And I'm like, look, like, I know what I'm doing, but like I don't know what's gonna happen. Meta like you run ads through it and it's a total mixed bag sometimes. I'm like, I've seen
It's
great
crazy,
results.
man.
Yeah, I've seen awesome results. I've seen terrible results. Like
Yeah.
like I said, like, but that's where that a personal relationship comes in because it's like, look, like I'm going to be working on it. If I see they're bad, I'm going
Yeah.
to do my best to fix it. If I see
Yeah.
they're great, I'm not going to touch it because why would I do that,
Right.
right?
It's working. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like to make a guarantee. I think that's just super like corny too. In my opinion.
Yeah. Man, I get it. You're right. Because you like a good example is the guy you just talked about. If you're giving him a guarantee, you tell him what you're going to do, but he didn't give you what you needed to give him
Exactly.
to work,
Exactly.
honor that guarantee.
Yeah.
So no, I like that, man.
Yeah.
Everybody throws a guarantee on everything. If not, we won't charge you anymore.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I'm a
Yeah, because I'm not paying for it anymore. So it's like
That's right.
yeah.
Guarantee. That's cool, man. I like it. I hope you don't ever lose this spirit you have. Because I mean, as a young guy, I'm just telling you, I'm looking back as when I was 28, 5 years ago. Shut up. I'm gonna keep that. But
Yeah.
you got a good spirit, man.
Thank
You're
you.
on the right track. And I've been in all kinds of businesses, made very good success in businesses out there, and some of them are still paying me to this day. And you have the same attitude of I want to help you first. Let me help you. I'm going to make my money, but let me help you make a ton of money.
Thank
And I
you.
love that with you,
I
man. I
appreciate that
love
a
it,
lot.
man.
A lot.
Man, you're a good guy, man. It's just you, all you, brother. But let's shift just a little bit now.
Yeah, let's do it.
How do you get your training in with all the stuff? Because you're running all these schools and you're helping all these schools run and you're doing all these things. Is it just you just don't sleep at night, or how do you get your training in?
Well, the beauty is like once the system's set up, I'm just there for support and that monthly kind of
Okay.
access. So yeah, my schedule is pretty flexible and I try to at least get 4 days in training and then 2 to 3 days like lifting or sort of extracurricular, if you'll call it surfing,
Yeah.
whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my split. That's where I've found like the Goldilocks zone where I'm not injured or I'm not like, crippling sore or anything like that. That's a good mix
Yeah.
for me.
Oh man, the first part was the best part. That you say you were still training 4 days a week. You're still doing the, lifting. So that tells me the system that you created works.
It's awesome. I don't want to like blow myself up, but it's so awesome. I love it.
Man, that's good stuff, man. You know what I'm gonna do, and I mean this from bottom. I mean this 100%. I got guys I'm gonna send them your way that I think guys who've had schools for a while, and they are great. They get a great system, but they're always there. And I get that if you want to be there, that's good. But you want to be able to hire other guys to help run your system too, and run your gym too. So, man, that's good stuff.
You're the
I'm
man.
fired up, man.
You're
I
the
wish
man,
I
buddy.
still had a school.
All right.
Because Because I remember those days of stressing every night or trying to get these customers
Mm.
come in. When you finally get a lead, you hold on it with
Oh,
dear
yeah.
life, and when that person doesn't sign up, you're just,
Devastated.
oh
It
my
hurts. It
gosh,
hurts. Yeah.
yeah. And because you spend what, hundreds of dollars to get that one guy to walk through the
Yeah.
door, and it's
Plus
just,
all the hours of
man,
talking to them and trying to make it
man,
easy for them, you
man.
know?
It's horrible, man. It's a horrible feeling. But right now, I really believe with a good system, if the product is good, I mean, your martial arts, the person's martial arts system they're using,
Mhm.
if it's good, you're going to grow like
Yeah,
crazy
it's
with that kind of system.
what is so great about it is because it's automated, it's extremely scalable. So like I never want to like pitch ads to somebody like unless they're ready for
Mm,
it, you know? Because I
gotcha.
find too a lot of times people are already generating like a decent amount of leads. And like we've been
Yeah.
talking about, there's just no conversion on them. So once you start getting that, and now you're just growing very well organically. Now it's like,
Yeah.
okay, let's pour gas on the fire. Let's pick an ad budget for this month and let's maybe put some ad spend out there and just see what happens, and then
Yeah.
and then you start getting flooded with like leads and opportunities and trials, and that's when things really start to grow.
That's cool, man. Gosh, I'll make some calls. I'm getting to school again on the road. No, I'm just kidding. A traveling martial arts guy.
Yeah.
Now, do you work with more than just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school? Or you work with any martial arts school out there?
Any martial arts school. I've also worked with like some businesses like outside of this niche just from
Oh,
through referrals, like
yeah.
I had an Alliance gym, actually pretty close to New York. They were in Portchester. Um, but the wife had like a nail salon, and so she liked the system that I gave to the school. So she's like, is it possible to do it for the nail salon? And really, like,
Yeah.
that's my favorite part of my job is to like build a system. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed learning about her business and like, okay, where's the opportunity? And then again, it's also like, you know, do I actually think this is going to make a difference? Sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
you know, at least in this industry, like I know it super well. I don't know nail salon business as well. So,
Yeah.
so I tell her, it's like, look, like, somebody inquires about, you know, whatever nail salons inquire about, but, but if somebody
Funny
inquires,
old
like,
fellow.
is it a phone call or is it like through messaging? Because that's where the system shines. It's mostly through text, and she's like, oh, it's through calls. I'm like, okay, well then, you know, this aspect won't work. Maybe there's another aspect that we could use for it, or just, retailer things and start to figure it out and make
Yeah.
it more efficient, really.
Okay, man. So, but you know what? If a system's good,
Mhm.
you can adapt it to other things.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what you're doing with that. That's pretty. Did it work well for her with the nails and
Yeah.
stuff? She got all the toenails
We
done.
she wanted to run some ads too, so we did that, and we like funneled it
Yeah.
into like a special workflow I made, and it was good. She got some good results. She was a great client. Her husband was like military, so he moved around a lot, and they ended up having to
Yeah.
like close the gym and the salon and like move across country. So I
Yeah.
don't get to have her as a client anymore, but she was awesome. I really enjoyed working with her.
That's cool. So you can branch out to other stuff.
Yeah.
Now, well, let me ask you this here: Do you guys have a system where, and that's, let's say someone doesn't want to do the ongoing ads and do all the ongoing stuff, but they have problems setting up all their systems to get them in the game, their pages, their websites, and all that stuff.
Mm.
Do you have a program for that where I can get you set up and then you call me when you're ready for me to run it for you and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like the core of my whole thing is that automated sales part, right? But I have
Okay.
the digital marketing and I have like the website building. So, a lot of times like in the discovery calls or whatever, like again, like I'm just trying to see how I could best help you. If you need help getting started,
Mm.
like I can do that for you, like no problem. If you're ready to
Yeah.
start growing, we have that too. But it's really just like, yeah, where do you need the most help right now? And if people need the website or the pages or they're just starting, it can do it all.
Okay, man, from A to Z.
A to Z.
All right, brother.
That's right.
You got it, man. This has been awesome, man. I'm taking notes over here trying to steal some of your stuff.
You go
Okay,
for
get the
it.
guy walk through the door. No, I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
joking.
yeah.
But this is good, man. This has been awesome, man. But brother, I'm telling you, man, before we get you out of here, man, give everybody all your contact information, how they find you, social media, everything.
Sure. So if what we talked about today really resonated with you, you can get a free 30-day trial of that course system I just spent the whole podcast talking about. Just go to morestudentsLessWork.com and there's a free trial button. So you schedule a call with me.
Like that.
And it's no contracts, no setup fees. It's just, I want you to see what it can do for your business. And then if you like it, we take it from there.
Wow. Oh man, that's huge. 30 days.
Yeah.
A free. All right, brother. That's good stuff, man. Man. Now, do they have you have a Instagram page or anything where they can see you training and all that kind of stuff, and they be like, man, he is a badass, or he
I don't know
sucks.
about
No.
that, but yeah, so all my socials, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I try to post content there that also helps owners struggling, you know, all their pain points and whatnot. It's all one handle. It's Michael Spyrou, all one word, Spyrou for the end. So you can check me out on any platform there. And again, the website is morestudentsLessWork.com.
Awesome, man. Brother, I appreciate you more than you know. Man, I'm serious, man. I know it's like I'm a fan now, which I am, you know, but I wish I still had a school, man, because I would use it because I would love to have a system that runs and I can go on there and surf. Man, I don't surf, I drown. Yeah. You know, do other things, man. But I appreciate you more than you know, man. Thanks for taking the time coming out here and sitting down with us and sharing your experience out there and sharing your product. And I really do. And I'm not saying this lightly. I'm not blowing sunshine up your ass at all. You have a good product, man. You really do, brother.
Thank you, Tony.
But I appreciate you
I
more than you know, brother.
you, really. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, you're more than welcome. We'll talk soon, my friend. Take care of yourself out there.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lines on my face like cracks in the road. Still chasing fire through the years half slow. Weights on my back.